Today we are going to dive into some reasons why an e-bike may be the right option for you. Imagine you wake up one morning and your knees have that old nagging pain. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed. You press your feet to the floor. And for a second, just a second, you wonder if riding a bike is still something your body is actually built to do. That thought is more common than you think, and it is also more wrong than you know. Your knee is one of the most complex load-bearing structures in the human body. It is not a simple hinge. The problem with aging knees is rarely that they move too much. It is that they stop moving in the right ways. The cartilage inside your knee does not have its own blood supply. It gets its nutrients through something called synovial fluid, a thick, slippery liquid that only circulates when the joint is moving. When you stop moving, the cartilage starves. When it starves long enough, it degrades. And when it degrades, you feel it as pain. So, pain equals less movement, which equals starving the cartilage, which equals even more pain. You get the idea. It becomes a cycle that is hard to break. This is where an e-bike does something that almost no other intervention can replicate. Today's e-bikes are making the difference for older riders and allowing them the freedom to get back out on the trails. Think about what happens when you pedal a traditional mountain bike up a technical climb. Your knees are absorbing not just your body weight, but the torque of each pedal stroke under full exertion. If you are carrying extra weight, if your muscles have lost some of the mass they had at 30, if your tendons have less elasticity, then every pedal stroke is a small argument between force and anatomy. Sometimes your anatomy wins, sometimes the climb does. An e-bike changes the argument entirely, not by eliminating it, by calibrating it. When motor assist engages, it fills in the gap between what your muscles want to do and what the terrain demands. You are still pedaling. Your knees are still moving through their full range of motion. The synovial fluid is still circulating. The cartilage is still getting fed. But the compressive force on the joint is reduced by exactly the amount the motor is contributing. Your knee gets the movement without the punishment. A study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that even a moderate level of motor assistance reduced peak compressive forces at the knee by up to 20%, without meaningfully reducing the cardiovascular benefit. The joint was still working. It was just not being overloaded. That 20% matters more than it sounds. Dr. Leif Ride, an orthopedic surgeon and researcher, also found that small reductions in peak load can be the difference between a ride that gradually builds the joint and one that quietly degrades it. Your knee does not need to stop working. It needs to work at the right intensity, at the right cadence, for the right duration. An e-bike makes that possible on days when a traditional bike would tip you over the edge. There is something else happening that most people never think to ask about. Cadence. How fast your legs are turning. Most recreational mountain bikers, especially riders over 40, naturally gravitate toward a lower cadence under load. You push harder, slower. An e-bike, because it reduces the resistance you are working against, naturally encourages a higher cadence without any conscious effort on your part. You are not grinding, you are spinning. And every rotation at a lighter load is a rotation that feeds your cartilage, moves your synovial fluid, and strengthens the muscles around the joint without stacking compressive damage on top of compressive damage. This is not accommodation, this is intelligent training. Riding an e-bike builds those muscles at a load that is sustainable, at a frequency that is actually achievable when your knees have a bad morning, or when the trail climbs faster than your body wants to follow. The barrier to getting on the bike at all is lower, and consistency, not single sessions of heroic effort, is what builds the muscular protection your knees actually need. Bottom line, your knees were built to move, they were not built to rest. And if a motor is what makes that movement possible on the days it would otherwise not happen, if pedal assist is what keeps you on the trail instead of on the couch, then the motor is not a shortcut. It is a prescription to keep your knees moving longer than you ever thought possible. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. Thanks for joining, and remember to ride safe and ride strong.